Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Bud from EFR. I hope your first mindful work week went well. How did it go for you? Let's just pause. Were you able to fit in some meditations and informal practice? Stay in the present a little bit more than before? I know it may be extra challenging if you've lost power this week because of the storm. But if you have a phone, maybe you can call our meditation line, 203-688-6185, and try the third option. It's a good meditation on releasing stress. If you can download an app, try Insight Timer or 10% Happier. There are many good apps out there. If you have no internet and no cell, well, enjoy it. You could just sit quietly and follow your breath and notice your senses like we did on Wednesday. Sights, sounds, smells, sensations in and on the body. And whenever the mind wanders, notice it, bring your attention back to the next breath. It's that simple. Maybe you notice just how much the mind wanders. Don't fret if it seems like a lot. Remember, on average, our minds wander 47% of the time. So don't give yourself a hard time. Actually, the fact that you noticed and are aware is a good step in the right direction. Whenever you notice that you're being critical, for example, you're saying to yourself, I just can't do this right, or I'm thinking too much, just remember we're bringing a non-judgmental attitude and one of friendliness and curiosity to the practice and your experience. Maybe you had a hard time finding the time to simply stop and pause and meditate. That's very common. Part of the practice is figuring out what works for you and when and how. Some busy moms that I've heard of have to go into the bathroom and close the door to meditate, or into their car out in the driveway to find a few moments of peace and quiet. So whatever your circumstances, do the best you can and be kind to yourself. If you find what works, keep on doing that. You also may have noticed where your mind goes. Certain thought patterns or emotional reactions. Well, stay tuned. In week 3, we'll cover thinking and emotions in more detail. And that's where the magic happens. We begin to see some insights. Well, you're looking forward to the weekend? Well, don't. But it's Friday, TGIF, right? Well, let's rethink that. Why do we rush to the weekend? What's wrong with today? With right now? Nothing, right? Maybe you like Friday because it's almost the weekend. If you really think about it, what's wrong with Monday or Tuesday or any other day? So part of the practice is to simply notice when you long for somewhere other than here, and then come back to here and now. So often, if we really stop to pay attention, we find that we're worrying, planning, regretting, analyzing, not really inhabiting the present, being somewhere other than where we are. We have hopes and expectations for what lies ahead, be it the weekend, a vacation, a family celebration. We're so focused on the next thing we need to do, the next and the next and the next. We spend much of our lives waiting to arrive somewhere else, like driving in a car and getting to our destination and not knowing how we get there. That's autopilot. If our habit is to be on our way to somewhere else, we miss out on whatever is in front of us. When your habit of being lost in thought, you'll also miss out on the parts of life you cherish. The sweet everyday moments, the feel of the warm breeze on your face, a beautiful arrangement of flowers on someone's lawn, the laughter of children playing, the taste of a fresh strawberry, the touch of a loved one. Remember, it's the journey, not the destination. Mindfulness teaches us how to slow down and live our moments right now, to be present to life with our senses, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and feeling what's going on inside the body. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't plan for the future, but when you do, do it mindfully and don't get swept away on autopilot. All right, so let's do the practice for today. This is based on a practice called the 3-minute breathing space, but I'm going to expand it a bit, so it'll be more like 5 or 6 minutes. So, as usual, the first step is to find a comfortable position to sit in. Pay attention to your posture. Sit relatively upright, but be relaxed so that you can be also awake and alert in the moment. Close the eyes, and we simply begin by asking ourselves, how are things going for me right now? When you ask yourself that question, just notice what thoughts arise. And just observe any thoughts that come and go as you check in with how things are going for you in the moment. Then notice what feelings are present. Be aware of the emotional weather and tune into that. And in the same way, don't get caught up in them. Don't react to them. You don't have to do anything with them. Just observe them. And then notice what body sensations are present. And maybe be aware, are there any connections to thoughts and feelings? Do a quick scan and see what's here in the body right now. What pressure do you notice? What sensations? Is there any tension or tightness? And again, you don't have to do anything to fix these. Just be aware of them and observe them. This is what it's like right now. And now the next step is to turn our attention to our breathing. Maybe take a deep breath or two so that we can really tune into the sensations of breath, letting ourselves relax a little bit. And just follow the gentle inflow and outflow, feeling the breath at the nose or the chest or the belly. Just breathe. You don't have to do anything special with the breath. Just let the breath breathe itself. And when you notice that your mind is wandered and you're lost in a train of thinking, just be aware of that, let it go, and then bring your attention gently back to the next breath. Remember, like training a puppy in a very gentle, friendly way, bring your attention back to the anchor of the breath. And we can use the train platform as a metaphor. So when you notice that you're on the train moving away from the platform and you're lost and coming away from the present moment, step off the train, back onto the platform, back to the present moment. And whenever you notice that you're on that train of thinking, know that you can step right back off, right back onto the platform and be present, whether in the meditation or outside of the meditation. So again, just breathing naturally and easily, no place to go, nothing to do. Catching ourselves when we become lost in thought. Returning to presence with a friendly, non-judgmental attitude. And now the last step of the practice is to open up your awareness and to sense the whole body sitting here. Be aware of the posture, be aware of the whole body breathing. And keep your awareness open and expansive. You might even be aware of what's around the body. front of you, behind you, to the sides. Breathing with the whole body, here and now. And as we come to the end of the meditation, just check in with yourself again. Just notice what that was like for you to stop and pause and do this meditation. And maybe take a moment to thank yourself for doing this, for taking the time out to take care of yourself, to be present. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly be aware of our body sitting here, our feet on the floor, and gradually open the eyes when you're ready. Maybe stretch a little bit, move around a little bit. And that ends the meditation for this Friday of our Mindfulness Challenge. So how was that for you? Remember to use that log, maybe jot down a comment or two, write down what the meditations have been like for you on a daily basis, and now that we've almost finished a week, what it's been like for you this week. So let's think about the weekend, okay? So what are you going to do tomorrow, Sunday? You could take a day off if you like, but I'd like you to try to do some sort of mindful practice over the weekend. And it may be a little different because our weekend routines are usually different. So think about when and how you'll fit it in. And just try for that one day and think of all the weekend chores and tasks that you must get done also. And instead of rushing through them to check it off your to-do list, see if you can mindfully pay attention to those mundane, have-to-get-it-done tasks so that you can experience them in the moment. And see if you can bring beginner's mind to them. Try it, just like we did with the informal everyday practices. And you can try some of these too, some more of these. If you'd like to try, there's always a list of chores and tasks that we do on an everyday basis. So continue to try those. And I'm going to add one more onto the list. Kind of a nice one. Notice pleasant events. So whenever a pleasant thing happens, instead of letting it just sort of glide in and out of your awareness, take a moment to really notice it and savor it and see what that's like for you. So that's your practice over the weekend. I will see you on Monday for week 2. The theme is the body is always present. So I wish you a mindful weekend, and I hope you are able to find some time to do the practices, and I will talk to you on Monday. Take good care.